Hello everyone and welcome to Golden Nova's First Reacts, where I react first to all the things you want to see reacted to first, as long as I'm the first person you come to react to things first. And it's time for more Medius lore! Last time we ran into our incredibly unfortunate nexus of forces from the beyond. Their body and soul had been overtaken by the three power patrons, and their best friend decided to sacrifice themselves to bring them back from the brink, although the world's nations are now at war again at the behest of the giant godlike creatures. Or rather, it's the armies that they have summoned personally that are at war with them, not that they've brought the nations to war, is my understanding of it so far. How will this advance? Beyond the Brave will tell us. We'll be looking at the new Medius cards, the Ars Magna archetype, as well as all the cards that we haven't covered so far. So we've got a lot to go over. Let's go ahead and get started. We're beginning with Theorealize Medius, so we are combining these spells with our goodest boy. Level 4 Dark Fairy monster, 1800 attack and defense. This card is always treated as a power patron card. That's pretty slick because this means that you can summon this with the base Medius, and that's 2 level 4 monsters, which means you get to make break Diactrus immediately, which is a pretty nifty card. If a power patron card is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you can add a Theorealize spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. That's pretty good. If any number of monsters becomes banished face up, you can activate one of these effects. Add an Ars Magna card from your deck to your hand, or banish this card, and if you do, special summon a Diactrus monster from your extra deck. So we are making Diactrus an archetype. So this gets the Fusion and the Xyz monster, both of which are pretty slick, so it's cool to have all of these. Becomes banished face up. I'm trying to remember what exactly does that in all of these, because if I remember correctly, the power patron monsters banish cards from your extra, not from your extra deck, your main deck, but they're banished face down. So I think this is the antithesis. We might see a few more of these, so I'm not gonna focus on it too much right now. If we don't have an enabler for this coming up, then I am going to double check. Oh, this art is so sick looking. God, it's so pretty. It's so good. Okay. Ars Magna of Infinity and This is like when your dad goes like, I've heard of people being disgruntled, but have you ever heard of someone being gruntled? This is like that. Have you ever heard of Finity? Silly stuff. What is this thing? Big armor, lady, fist happening here, and little Medius with sword. Okay. Level 8 Earth Warrior, 1000 attack, 2400 defense, reverse Monarch stats. You can only use this card's first, second, and third effect once per turn. You can banish this card from your hands to add a non-warrior Ars Magna monster from your deck to your hand. Also, the original attack of all power patron link monsters you control will triple over the rest of the turn. We have one that I remember, and that's the one from last set, and that only had 300 attack, so that turns into 900. So that can't be what that's for, right? If a fusion and or link monster are special summoned while this card is banished, you can special summon this card. Oh, okay, so we are recreating Magic the Gathering's adventure cards. We are having an effect that activates in the hand that banishes the card, and then they get to come back later. We are creating adventures. Third, if you control a power patron link monster, you can target one monster on the field and banish it. Hey, that would be banished face up. Hold on a second. If a monster becomes banished face up, hey, alright, that's some pretty nifty synergy right there. Okay. So you put this in banishment, you get this set up, and then you just make a fusion or a link, and then you just get this out for free. If it is a link monster and it is a power patron, you also get to banish something. That's pretty slick. Ars Magna of Purification and Corruption. So we are getting some dualities. We're running with the idea of dualism here, folks. I hope you're ready for some philosophy. This looks so wild. Holy cow. Level 8 Wind Dragon monster, 1000 attack, 2000 defense. You can only use the first, second, and third effect of these cards' name once per turn. It's a Wind Dragon, so presumably this is from Doomsday territory. You can banish this card from your hand to add an Ars Magna spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. Also until the end of the next turn. The first 3 times each of your Power Patron Link monsters would be destroyed by battle each turn. It is not destroyed. Which means it can survive 4 attacks, so this is actually thematically inappropriate. We gotta go back to the drawing room. And if an Exceeds and or Link monster are special summoned while this card is banished, you can special summon this card. Okay, so I probably should have clocked this beforehand, but Infinity is the Archmage one because it calls for fusions in here, and Purification and Corruption is Doomsday because it calls for Exceeds. It's very notable that it does not care what kinds of monsters, like name-wise. You can just bring out an Exceeds or a Link monster with varying degrees of efficiency. I think Link monsters are generally the easiest to access, but that's a discussion for a different time. Third, you can target spell or trap cards on the field up to the number of Power Patron Link monsters you control and banish them. So, neat. So you got monster removal from Infinity. You have spell and trap removal from Purification and Corruption. Notably, this should not trigger our Theorealize Medius because this checks for monsters being banished face up. So there is a specific synergy going on here. Are these the original Power Patrons? Like, is this what they're supposed to be? Because my understanding is that we've never actually seen the real Power Patrons. The little tiny versions are like agents of theirs in our world, like slivers of their power, but are independent agents. And the shadow versions are like, once again, corruptions that have pushed through the veil. Are these like the actual big bunglers? This is cute. Ars Magna of Unification and Separation, level 8 fire spellcaster, so elf note. 1000 attack, 1800 defense. You can only use this card's names first, second, and third effect each once per turn. First, you can banish this card from your hands to special summon a non-spellcaster Ars Magna monster from your graveyard or banishment. Also, your Power Patron Link monsters can make up to 3 attacks on monsters during each battle phase this turn. So, we're tripling their attack. We're keeping them safe 3 times, we're letting them attack 3 times. And I'm seeing a Link monster here. If a Synchro and or Link monster is special summoned while this card is banished, you can special summon it. And third, you can banish an Ars Magna card from your graveyard to draw a card. This has the chance of triggering Theorealize Medius as well, because if we banish an Ars Magna monster, we will get the draw, and then we will trigger the search and or other effect. Okay, so these are all pretty solid cards, especially if you're running like some kind of rank 8 strategy. None of these are like lock you into a particular summon mechanic, so if you just want to slap level 8 monsters together and make some big honkin' chonkers, this will do it for you. It's also just giving you free Link material if you want. The only issue at this point being that they only banish themselves from the hand, it seems like. I guess Unification and Separation helps to get our Ars Magna cards back into the banishment, so that's actually pretty good for their continued revival, because otherwise they would just be stuck in the graveyard. So this is, like, in order of importance, it's probably Infinity, then Unification and Separation, and then lastly you play a Purification and Corruption for the name and for the kind of baller effect. Okay. Oh, actually no, because this actually searches you an Ars Magna spell or trap card. So if those are any good, then you probably play more of these. The classic Nova, trying to determine how to play the deck before even reading all of the cards. Must be a day ending in Y. Metacurius, the Power Patron of Illusion. So it is not an Ars Magna, but it is a Power Patron Link monster. Okay. It is a Link 3 Water Fairy monster requiring 2 or more monsters, including a Fusion Synchro Exceeds or Link monster. Which means that this is exceedingly easy to make, right? Like, we literally have the Link 2 monster. Hold on a second. We gotta dim the lights here a little bit. I'm sorry, once again, I am not doing my research correctly before these videos, but I know that there's a Link monster that just came out. Is the Link monster a Link 2? It is a Link 2, and I was so curious what this would, what how this would ever be useful, and it's literally just for this, right? During your main phase, if you control another Dark Fairy monster, or if this is Link summoned and you have a Power Patron or Graveyard, add a Theorealize card from your deck to your hand. You use the Theorealize to get a Medius onto the board, and then during the main phase, if you control a Dark Fairy monster, Medius, you can immediately after this effect resolves, Link summon a Link monster using materials you control, including this card. I guess, yeah, because this is the Link monster right here. So this is Link 2. Spoilers, we're doing Blitzclick after this. You quick link into this, so using the Link monster. So bada bing, bada boom. That's wild. So gain these effects based on the number of monsters that it points to. If it points to one or more, once per turn, you can negate the effects of as many face-up monsters your opponent controls as possible, and if you do, have their attack until the end of this turn. Okay. Second, unaffected by your opponent's activated card effects, Tower's time. Third, once per opponent's turn as a quick effect, you can banish both this card and all cards your opponent controls. Okay. Seems pretty good. The fact that this is not locked to any particular archetype, you could play this in any deck that is running Link monsters, means that you can get up to some shenanigans. You also are probably wanting to play this in a deck that also swarms monsters, but I think the huge takeaway here is that it is a Link monster that points downward 3 times, so filling this up is actually very easy for pendulums. So Power Patron was not a weird, quirky decision in card design. It was a premonition of things to come. Pen 3, gain all the effects, turn your opponent's board to mush during your turn, and then during your opponent's turn, if they ever threaten this line of text, you go, oh, well, I guess if you're going to get rid of it, I'm going to Andross you. And any deck that utilizes any of these can play this, namely Link monsters, but Pendulums can probably do it the best, but any Link deck is probably going to go crazy with that. Wowie zowie, keep an eye on that. Ars Magna Citrinitas. Look at, ooh, that's pretty. And these are all like these are like 3 different cores of them, right? This one at the top left, that's all like arty. It's got like paint stuff. That's the Art Mage Academy. This is the Doom Z core down here, and to the right, that's the Elf Noble. It's got the little staff and bars. That's pretty nifty. That's pretty cool looking. This card is always treated as an Art Mage, Doomsy, and Elf Note card. It is for all of them. You can activate the effect of monsters you control with Ars Magna in their original names as quick effects while you control a Power Patron Link monster. We'll get to that in a second. Once while phase up on the field, you can add 1 Medius or Ars Magna monster from your deck to your hand. So it is a search effect initially. Thank you, Notification, for the noise there. Okay, so the effect of Ars Magna that you control. So not in the hand, so there's summon effect you can't, or their in-hand effect you can't do. But what are we talking? Okay, so the monster banish is a quick effect. The spell and trap is a quick effect, and the draw is a quick effect. That's what we're talking about here. Pretty good effects to have continuous. Not necessarily game-breaking, but it's pretty good to have them as quick effects. And last Ars Magna card, Philosopherum. Whoa. Okay, so this seems like it's supposed to be Medius conquering the Power Patron spirits, right? Like that's what we're seeing here. You can only use one of the first and second effect of this card's name per turn, and only once that turn. First effect, target up to 3 Ars Magna monsters in your hand and or graveyard and banish them. Then you can negate the effects of up to the same number of face-up cards on the field until the end of this turn, so more negation. Second, you can banish this card from your grave to return a Power Patron Link monster from your graveyard to the extra deck. Then you can special summon it. It does not say Link summon it, you just get to summon it. So you can just bring out Link Medius, and none of this card keeps you from summoning it that way. And it doesn't require it to have been properly Link summoned. Wow, that's silly. These cards are pretty nifty. There's no locks on here. And Ars Magna, the main deck is what? These 3 monsters? You probably don't even need to run Theorealize Medius because it searches into the Ars Magna cards. If you're going to play them together, you might as well put them together. but you could just slap the Ars Magnas into, like, as an engine for stuff, and then when you want, you just turn those monsters into Power Patron of Illusions. Thankfully, it is a fairy monster, not an illusion monster, so we don't have to worry about it not having the right text. That's fine. Cards can have whatever names they want. It's when they have mechanical typing that's an issue. Otherwise, that would be throwing a hissy fit over every Sea Dragon Lord Gashilnadon out there. You sea serpent, stolen glory looking asses. These cards seem interesting. I'm hesitant to call them super powerful. I think Metacurius themselves has a lot of potential. But the fact that it relies on it having cards that it points to means that it only works well in the EMZ, which is why it's so important that the trap card returns into the extra deck before it summons it. But then if you have ways of dealing with the monsters that it points to before any of these other effects become a problem, then this card has no power. Though I will say that it is mechanically relevant, or resonant, that they only gain power depending on those who are supporting them. Or subjugating, depending on if this is evil or not. I'm very confused, because a lot of this stuff in here says, oh, well, they've finally gotten the power to conquer the spirits of the beyond and turn their power to good, but then also... Blitzclick Overvoltage. Now, this one I did do research on. I have not done the Blitzclick Explained episode yet, but I can't wait, because they're just value supreme. Blow up cards, summon your own stuff, and you're blowing up your opponent's cards when you're doing it, so you're getting to do some fun stuff. And they've avoided having to worry about dealing with Colossus nonsense with Thunder monsters, because you can't summon anything except the hand when you use their in-hand effect. So activating a Thunder monster in hand is not necessarily a death sentence for any format they're involved in. Let's see how Overvoltage changes their game plan. It's a normal spell card. You can only use the 2 effect of this card's name once per turn, which means the first effect is unlimited. Target a face-up card on the field and destroy it. Also, you cannot special summon effect monsters for the rest of the turn, except from the hand. Okay, so notably a lot of cards care about other cards being destroyed by Blitzclick cards. So while the first effect does not have any additions for destroying a card, which normally they do, this is meant to key off of those other Blitzclicks. So that's good. And it's just removal, and if you draw 3 of them, you can just blast 3 cards. So that's very funny. Second, if any number of cards are destroyed by your Blitzclick's cards effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. Now, notably, this will not immediately add itself to the hand, because when you play Overvoltage, it will stay on the field until it resolves. It blasts the card, then it resolves, and it goes to the graveyard. However, if you have 2 copies of Overvoltage, that is having 3 copies of Overvoltage. It's like that, what was that, that indie game post that was like, well, actually... $6 is like $5 and $18 is like $20, that kind of thing. Because if you have 2 of these in hand, you play 1 Overvoltage, you blast a card. You play a second Overvoltage, you blast a second card. The first copy in your graveyard sees a card being destroyed by a Blitzclick's card effect. You can grab it back, and then you can play the third copy. So having 2 copies of Overvoltage is having 3 copies of Overvoltage. Okay, yeah, seems like a solid addition. I think any deck would love to have a card that just blasts other cards. Face-up card on the field, granted, so you can't just start hitting hidden information cards, but if there's something that you need to deal with that you know about, boy howdy, this thing is here to help you out. So this is a solid inclusion to the thing. Also very cute art. I think the Blitzclicks are great. Okay, next up is Alistair time. When I saw the art for this, I knew this was gonna... maybe I'll make it the thumbnail. I don't know. We'll see how unhinged I'm feeling versus how much I want my subscriber counts to stay stable. We've got 2 new Alistair cards to add on to the cards that we saw in Chaos Origins. First up, we have animated Invoked D Anima. Anima's A, B, and C could not be reached for comment. Who is this? This looks so familiar. This is like... the dragon that gets you back spells and traps when they're destroyed or something. It looks very much like that. D Anima is a level 8 Dark Fiend fusion monster with 2900 attack and 1500 defense, requiring an Alistair monster and a monster special summoned from the extra deck. So that's kind of like Elysium. You can only use, except it needs an Alistair monster or an Invoked monster, so it's a little easier to get a hold of. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. If this card is fusion summoned, you can activate one of these effects. Either destroy all of your opponent's monsters special summoned from the extra deck, or destroy all spell and trap cards that your opponent controls. So it's Feather Duster or very selective Raigeki, which are not bad choices. Second, when your opponent activates a card or effect in the graveyard as a quick effect, you can banish this card to special summon an Alistair monster from your deck, and if you do, negate that effect. Alistair monsters. Now, I did double check all of these cards because I knew they would be complicated, but the only Alistair cards that I'm largely aware of is, of course, the original, and then there was Reminiscent, and it gets the search no matter how it is summoned. I thought it was, it cared about having to use its in-hand effect, but no, it's just fine operating as normal. So good to see that we will be able to utilize the power of Alistair all the time, and that we can just deal with graveyard effects. Okay, Invocation Chalice, normal spell card. Very normal about that cup. I love this shot. It's so good. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. If you have an Alistair monster on your field, in your graveyard, or banishment to activate one of these effects. Fusion summon an invoked monster from your extra deck by banishing a monster from your hand or field and one card from your deck. So this is very good for grabbing. No, it says no. It's summon an invoked monster, but banishing a monster from the hand or the field. So yeah, just getting a bunch of like Alistair monsters are used for all the new ones, and you get to banish from the deck for all of the weird attributes that they call for, so that's pretty good. Or fusion summon an invoked monster from your extra deck by banishing one monster you control and one face-up monster that your opponent controls, so it's a little super poly. Okay, this seems pretty nice. That's pretty good. I think my one issue here is that they made, like, invocation cards in this new set that care about cards that have invocation in their name. Like, Reminiscent literally, yeah, add one invocation or a spell that mentions it from your deck to your hand, and they made Invocation Sword mention invocation. There was another card that cared about ones that mentioned it, but I can't find it right now. But the point is that this one does not mention invocation, so we cannot search this out with it. I don't think that's necessarily a problem, except the fact that there's no way to actually grab this, right? But it's still pretty good because you're either doing a kind of branded fusion or a kind of super polymerization, and I think both are pretty valid. TBH. I am not sure of a situation in which you hard draw Chalice and you're not. Well, okay, the issue is that you need to have an Alistair in rotation, so you can't just play this and then get the ball rolling on that. But I still think that this is a solid card, and the fusion is pretty cool too, so happy to see those. Zorc! I was so happy to see that Zorc was getting another retrain here. And it's not a ritual this time. You can just play the Master of Evil Zorc. What's going on here? Level 8, Dark Fiend, 2700 attack, 1500 defense. You can only use the first, second, and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. First, you can discard 2 cards, including this card, to add a level 8 Fiend monster from your deck to your hand. It's a shame that there are no good level 8 Fiend monsters. When your Fiend monster is destroyed by battle, you can special summon this card from your graveyard, so pitching it is not an issue. In fact, it is setting you up for success. And then last effect, during your main phase, you can roll a 6-sided die and apply this effect based on the result. If it's a 1, 2, 3, or 4, take control of or destroy one monster your opponent controls. But if it's a 5 or a 6, destroy one card that you control. So just like original Zorc, there's a chance that when you roll the die, you get blasted. Granted, the downside is that you're only destroying one card you control, and unfortunately there are no Fiend or Dark monsters that like being destroyed. Being able to steal a monster, though, 66% of the time is phenomenal. especially because it does not give it back at any point. And if we don't want to take it, we can just kill it. So this seems pretty fun. Look up the list of level 8 Fiend monsters. Which ones are the best to grab here? My heart is saying Dark Necrofear, but my mind is saying one of the Unchained monsters. Let me know down below. Garbage Golem. This seems like a Yusei-ass card if ever I've seen one. It's a level 4 Dark Fiend monster with 0 attack and defense. You can only use the first, second, and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. If you control a monster with 0 attack or defense, you can special summon this card from your hand. Second, you can reveal 3 Xyz monsters in your extra deck with different ranks, then target one other card on the field and destroy it and this card, and you can banish this card from your grave and detach a material from your monsters. Then you can special summon one monster with 0 attack or defense from your hand or graveyard. Okay, so it's not a junk card for Yusei. This is like that Garbage Lord card. It's associated with that. Hand or graveyard is a pretty limited place to pull your monsters from, but I am sure that there are ones with a 0 attack or defense. Oh, that's also pretty important. There are some monsters that are good that have 0 of either one of those. And then it being in the graveyard is easy because as long as you've got a stacked extra deck with a bunch of variants in it, you get to blast a card. Okay, this seems like a fun tech card. I could see it being useful in something. That's pretty fun. Spell Power Attainment. This is one that I really, really had to show some restraint in not looking at because it's Endymion lore stuff. Quick play spell card. You can add one card that mentions spell counters from your deck or graveyard to your hand, except a copy of this card. Then if you control a level 7 or higher Endymion monster card, which means that our pendulums work as well, you can remove any number of spell counters from your field, and if you do, negate the effects of that many face-up cards your opponent controls. And if you do that, destroy them. Okay, now we're talking here. Beforehand, it was just a way to shut down some effects. Now we're talking about removal. I love it that this does not target. That's so nutty. So you put Endymion in the pendulum scale and go, I have a giant-ass Endymion monster card. I'm going to play this. I'm going to grab a spell counter card. I'm going to look at all the spell counters I have and go, I've got 4 of them. You're now losing 4 cards. Did they have targeting protection? I don't care. Did they have destruction protection? I still do not care. Unless they activate in the graveyard. And this is a quick play spell, so you can blast at any time that you want. That's good. That's gotta be good, right? It replaces itself immediately with a new card, and it has the potential to turn spell counters, which by themselves do nothing, into outrageous removal. This is like if you fed Arcanite Magician to the Gatling Cannon. Oh my god, this card seems a little silly. A little goofy, maybe? Okay, Goemon time. We are getting Goemon representation in Overframe. The world's greatest gallant thief is a level 10 Wind Warrior monster with 2500 attack and 2000 defense. If you control no monsters, you contribute summon this card by attributing this card face up by attributing monsters from your hand and or opponent's field. When your opponent activates a card or effect in the hand, graveyard, or banishment, and this card was normal summoned, quick effect, you can negate that effect and if you destroy that card. During the battle phase as a quick effect, you can reveal your entire hand, change all opponent's monsters to defense position. This card is so funny. What? This card is so fun. Wait a second. This card's crazy. What? So if you control no monsters, so obviously this still loses to any effect that gives your opponent a monster. And by loses, I mean you are giving them part of the material that they need to tribute summon this card. But this is a lava golem that does not lock you into anything. It does use your normal summon, but if you have additional normal summons, you can still use those. And the places that this hits is wild. Hand, graveyard, or banishment. So anything that's not just on the field. And newsflash, people be activating effects in a lot of places. Ooh, wow. The reveal thing is very funny. If you have the ability to... Or like, if you're just stopping yourself from getting killed by a giant attack, revealing your hands to your opponent doesn't mean much. It does mean you have to have something in hand, so you can't just spit everything out, but you can just keep some nonsense in hand. This is a really funny card. Huh? I love this! Double Kaiju for Lava Golem. Better Lava Golem, right? Like, can we agree this is better Lava Golem because you get to keep the monster? You don't have to find a way to get rid of the Lava Golem. This has a free negate. It can shut off battle phases until it's answered. Huh? This card's dope as hell? How quickly am I going to regret this? This feels like a card that I'm getting super hyped about, and then 6 months from now, I'm gonna be cursing like again with the world's greatest gallant thief. I can't make a board that's not being eaten by the greatest gallant thief, and you know I'm not gonna be able to get my graveyard effect triggers because they're just gonna steal it with their cool pipe. I have high hopes for this card. I really do. This card's really funky. And speaking of icons from the past, we have Dark Armed Dragon Punisher, a level 7 Dark Dragon special summon effect monster with 2800 attack and 1000 defense that cannot be normal summoned or set, and must be special summoned from your hand by having exactly 3 dark monsters in your graveyard. So it functions exactly like old Dark Armed Dragon as far as this card goes. First effect, you can reveal this card in your hand to special summon a level 6 or lower dark monster from your hand. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except dark monsters. And during the main phase, as a quick effect, you can banish up to 3 dark monsters from your graveyard, then target an equal number of cards on the field and destroy them. Oh, okay. So this is a cool take on it. So, ooh, no, you can't summon dark monsters. So it is a dark extender even when you can't play this. And then it has a quick effect version of its removal. It has as much destructive capability from like the dark amount, like you'll start with 3 in your graveyard so you can banish up to 3. They made it a quick effect, but they didn't just make it so you could keep pinging over and over again. You get one time to do it, but because it is a quick effect, you can do it whenever you need to, and it doesn't care if the card is face up or face down. So the payoff for this card is going to be highly reliant on your ability to identify board states and when best to remove those cards. This is pretty sick. Once again, we're not playing with the frame in an interesting way. I gave Goemon a pass because I think it had aura. And Dark Armed Dragon's looking pretty cool, but I just don't... It looks a little flat. It's good. It's a good composition. It's a great looking card, but I just feel like it is missing something when you don't take advantage of the... We call them frame breaks. But if you're just going to layer the art on top of the frame, you are not breaking the frame. You are just putting things above the frame. There is a difference here. Please change this. Please make more interesting compositions with your frame breaks. Please, I'm begging you. I am begging you, Konami. But this is a pretty cool card, and it does look nice. Okay, this was a card that I rued having to read. Coralianictus, the Shimmering Shining Dragon, we got there eventually, is a level 7 Water Sea Serpent effect monster with 1300 attack and 2700 defense. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. If this card is added to your hand except by drawing it, you can reveal it and one other water monster in your hand. Special summon both! Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except water monsters. Outrageous. Your opponent cannot target water link monsters you control with card effects while you control Umi. And as it turns out, there's a whole archetype of monsters whose names are Umi, including a link monster. So this helps to keep that safe. And it turbos out cards from your hand. Waters love searching out sea serpents, so this lets you do that. The water lock, of course, means little if your deck is based around it, so this seems like a fantastic card. Take these headphones off. What am I even wearing these for? I'm not listening to anything. I've got my own dulcet tones to keep us company. This is a pretty slick card. I'm looking forward to seeing this in action. Especially as a level 7 monster, giving this to mermails, even without the second effect, I'm sure they'll make use of it in some way, but just having a way to turbo out 2 level 7 water monsters seems unreal for them. Corpse Seller Crow. I remember this being heralded as a good card for some deck, but I forget what. I think it was Phantom Knights? We'll see. Corpse Seller Crow is a normal trap card. Send cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard up to the number of trapped cards in the graveyard with different names, +1, maximum of 4. Then you can apply one of these effects. Special summon one monster sent to the graveyard, or set one of the spell and trap cards sent to the graveyard except copies of this card. If it is a quick play spell card or a trap card, you can activate it this turn. Oh, wow. Okay, so I think they did mean it when it said that this works really well with Phantom Knights. So we are milling a bunch of cards. We want to have trap cards in the graveyard because we are trying to get our sword and our blade and our wings into the graveyard so that we can have them ready for later. But until then, we can activate Corpse Seller Crow, and then we just get to grab a like special summon a monster or set a spell or trap card encompasses every card in the game. So if you have 3 trap cards in your graveyard and you activate Corpse Seller Crow, you're looking at 4 cards and saying which is the one that I want to use the most. And then I get to use it now. This card is pretty good. I'm looking forward to this one. I think I want to play this a lot. This card seems really funky. Okay, 3 new Beyond the Brave cards, including a new tune. Let's take a look at Mystic Call, a level 5 water spellcaster tuner monster with 1600 attack and 800 defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. Firstly, if this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can discard one other spellcaster monster or a spell or trap card to special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. And if this card is normal or special summoned, you can banish a level 4 spellcaster monster from your deck, and if you do during the end phase of this turn, add it to your hand or special summon it. Okay. I guess immediacy is my big problem with this, right? Like, you discard the spellcaster or spell or trap card. You bring this out, it's in a banish state. It will banish. If this card is normally special summoned, you then get to banish the level 4 spellcaster. This is like a free agent for something, and I forget what it is. It's not Elf Note, because they're all level 6s. What is a level 4 spellcaster? I'm sure I will be told at some point. This seems like a nifty, interesting card. Maybe there are some synergies that have not revealed themselves to me yet, but I could see this being useful for sure. Cartoon Shade, a level 1 Dark Illusion special summon effect monster with 0 attack and 2000 defense that cannot be normal summoned or set, and must be special summoned from your hand if a monster that cannot be normal summoned or set is on the field. Oh, okay, so if we have a special summon monster on the field, you get to have it on there. If this card is special summoned, you can add a monster with 2000 attack or defense from your deck to your hand that cannot be normal summoned or set. And if this card on the field is tributed, you can target 1 card on the field or up to 2 if you control a monster with 2000 attack or defense and return them to the hand. Monster with 2000 attack or defense. We're looking up tunes again. Where's that? They don't have a particular line of text, folks. You know that I love seeing a particular line of text, and it doesn't have it, so, you know, just feeling a little bad right now. Feeling a little mad about that. What is this supposed to work with? What is the juice? What's the juice here? There's no... It's a monster with 2,000 attack or defense that cannot be normal summoned or set. Am I missing something here? Are we not supposed to grab a different Toon monster? Like, Toon Dark Magician Girl is a Toon monster with 2,000 attack. And it cannot be normal summoned or set. Okay, I was like looking through all the old Toon monsters and I'm like, what's going on here? No, this is meant to work specifically with Toon Dark Magician Girl because you grab it. Must first be special summoned from your hand by tributing one monster while you control Toon World. So you tribute the Cartoon Shade to get Dark Magician Girl. And then this triggers this to return 2 cards. And then it can attack the turn that it's summoned. Unlike most other Toon monsters. So that's pretty funny. That's pretty goofball shenanigans. Okay, this seems funny. It's funny and cool. I like it. And then a monster that cannot be normal summoned or set is literally any monster from the extra deck, so or any ritual monster, and it cares if it's on the field, not if you control it. So if your opponent has one, you can go Cartoon Shade, get Dark Magician Girl, tribute it to summon it, goodbye 2 cards. Lastly, Cursed Paper Retribution, normal trap card. You can target one monster you control and a face-up card your opponent controls. Destroy your monster, and if you negate the opponent's card effect until the end of this turn. And second, if this set card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one face-up card your opponent controls and negate its effects anyway. And you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. Because it is talking about the sent card being sent away, we cannot activate it for the first effect and then send it to the graveyard. It is one or the other. However, if we are a deck that cares about sending our cards to the graveyard, we can certainly benefit from sending this away and then negating a card. And then once again, if you want to pop your own monsters, Cursed Paper Retribution has you covered. Bingo card. Okay, so Rat from the Domain Discord server, very good friend, very helpful in many regards, told me to react to this when it came out because it was funny. No, I ignored that. No, not ignore that. That's bad. I saw the message, but I didn't do it because I didn't want to just respond to a single card. So I guess comedically I ignored it. But now I'm looking forward to seeing what it was that they saw in this card that was so funny. Choose one monster in a column whose zones are all occupied and destroy as many cards in that column as possible. Then each player draws a card. So like what? Oh, it only destroys a monster. Oh no, it destroys as many cards in that column as possible. Okay, so presuming that this is not an extra monster zone, and like presuming, I guess, we blast it in the same thing as the bingo card, we lose the bingo card and our monster, and then they lose their monster and their card in the spell and trap zone, and then we both draw 1, so it's even? Second, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then activate one of these effects. Destroy 5 monsters in the main monster zone, or 5 cards in your spell and trap zone, and then draw 2 cards. Or destroy 5 monsters in your opponent's main monster zone, or 5 cards in their spell and trap zone, and then they draw 2 cards. Guys. It's literally formatted like a bingo sheet. It's literally formatted like a bingo sheet, because if you blast all the 5 of them, that's that whole row from yours. And then if you do the sideways thing, that's the monster's spell and trap zone. And looky here, there's 2 zones right there. Those are both extra monster zones. They haven't been touched. That's crazy. Wow, that's very funny. Yu-Gi-Oh designers will do anything except make a card that operates like Yu-Gi-Oh. It's summoned to the Claim Your Cash app. No, bingo card, get out of here. This card is very funny. What's your number? Yeah, this is certainly a number 80 card in a deck for sure. This is a silly ass, goofy ass number 80 trap card for sure, and very funny in Domain. You can pick any anyone's columns to blast their cards, then everyone draws a card. So if you hit someone across the table, like you and your opponent are sitting across from each other, and you got two other people sitting across from them, you can use bingo card to blast all of their cards, then everyone draws a card. That is so funny. Never mind, actually, I think this is a perfect card. Rat, you were completely correct. This is great. Emissaries from Darkness. Gore's Retrain, another one that I really had to sit on, but I was good. I have not seen anything about this card. What's going on now? Emissaries from Darkness, level 7 Dark Fiend, 2700 attack, 2500 defense, not a level 8. Can't search it with a new Zorc, but that's fine. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. Firstly, if you take battle or effect damage, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do gain 2000 life points, then you can apply one of these effects. Special summon an Emissaries from Darkness from your hand, deck, or graveyard, or destroy up to 2 of your opponent's attack position monsters. And during the end phase of this card of special summon this turn, you can target a trap card in your graveyard and set it. What? Huh? Okay. This card is goofy, right? It doesn't care if you have monsters or not, unlike the old Gores, and it doesn't care who deals the damage to you. When that happens, this comes back, you gain 2000, and your choices are I'm blasting 2 of your cards, or I get double people from hand, deck, or graveyard, so you could probably, like, you can run a maximum number of these, and it's still viable to have had multiple of them. And then you either have 5,400 points of damage on board ready to kill some people, or you have 2 rank 7 materials that will also give you a trap card during the end phase to use on your following turn. What is this? This card has so much utility baked into it. Wow, this is the Gore's comeback for sure. Wow. Is this good enough to see play? I feel like it can, right? It gets in the way of damage pushes. It gets you life points back. It can retaliate. It can get you more bodies for the crackback. It gets you a trap card if it sticks around. That's good, right? That's so good. I'm keeping an eye out for this one. This is definitely worth our while. Father Grizzly. Oh my god, I want to read this one too so much. Father Grizzly. We have made Father Grizzly to pair with Mother Grizzly. The family's together. Level 4, Water Beast Warrior, 1400 attack, 1000 defense. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. First effect, when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, special summon a level 4 monster with 1400 attack from your deck, or if you have 2 or more level 4 monsters with 1400 attack in your graveyard, you can special summon any normal monster instead. When your opponent activates a monster effect, this is the second one, and you control a face-up non-effect monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard to negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that monster. It was revealed on Father's Day. Wow, that is a long time since we have done one of these reveals. Holy cow. This is very funny, right? Like, so it's, if you go Mother Grizzly is destroyed, you replace it with Father Grizzly, it gets destroyed. Now you have Mother and Father Grizzly. They both have 1400 attack. They're level 4 monsters. Summoning any normal monster instead. And then it is a monster negate while you control a non-effect monster. Huh. What do we do with Father Grizzly? I think that's my main issue here. I'm not exactly sure. If this is a water deck, I'm sure there's a number of water normal monsters that Umi would love to get their hands on. Is this worth waiting for the battle destruction, though? I suppose the big boon here is that because these are battle tutors, if you have Mother Grizzly, you just crash into monsters of your own volition to get that big normal monster. So maybe that's how you're supposed to operate it. Funny card. I don't know if it's a good card, but it is a funny card. Also, it appears that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is investing in Bear Bomb when Alestrals is taking it away. Very sad stuff. Myriadday Dragon, level 1 light dragon monster, 0 attack and defense. Once per turn during the end phase, you can pay 100 life points to place a myriad counter on this card. Second, once per turn, you can place a myriad counter on this card for every 1,000 point difference between your life points and your opponent's. Third, gains 10,000 attack and defense while it has 10 or more myriad counters, and if this card would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can remove a myriad counter from it instead. This is the 10,000th day since the Yu-Gi-Oh! Official card game released in 1999, meaning, and myriad means 10,000. Wow, so I have been alive for more than 10,000 days. I don't want to think about that. This seems pretty funny. So it's during the end phase, so it doesn't matter who. Additional funny domain haha thing, so the longer this stays around. And then it gets a protection for each myriad counter that it has. Now this one is an activated effect, so you do have to check one opponent whose life points are higher than yours. So this is going to be very situational. But this is also a very fun build around. I want to see people playing this card as much as possible for the 10,000 attack level 1 monster. That would be very funny. Okay, our last card is Destratification Dino Stratii. It is a Link 2 Fire Dinosaur Link monster with 0 attack, requiring 2 monsters, including a dinosaur monster as material. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. Firstly, if this card is Link summoned, you can make it gain attack equal to half the total original attack of the dinosaur monsters used as its material. So it actually does have some heft. And then during your main phase, you can fusion summon a dinosaur monster from your extra deck by banishing its materials from your field and or graveyard. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except dinosaur monsters. So, Dino fusions are, of course, a big part of the GMX line. There's got to be some other Dino fusions that this works with. I simply do not posit that those are the only things that we can care about. I know Kaitoptera exists. That's pretty funny, but I don't think it needs any help with that. Dinomorphia is very funny, but those require Dinomorphia monsters. They don't generally use random dinosaurs, though if you have a bunch of dinosaurs in Dinomorphias in your graveyard, then this is the perfect fit for that. Evolved Deneen is a GMX monster that is not on theme, so I don't think it plays well with that. Of course, there's the GMX fusion monsters. You just get to Miracle Fusion all of them away to make them. And that's about it. There's also Transcendosaurus Gigantozauler, but I think the ship has sailed in regards to Transcendosauruses, which I'm sad about because I loved their concept. Bring us the Transcendosaurus Sword Arm of Dragon. Konami, you cowards. These cards were pretty fire. I think that there was at least one miss in all of this, but if even ones that I thought weren't necessarily super powerful were funny. I cannot wait for Corpse Seller Crow. Is that supposed to be a playoff of like the goblins, like the Hard Sellen's goblin? The world's greatest gallant. This is the world's greatest gallant thief, everyone. Wild cards. Holy macaroni. These cards are so fun. But I'm sure there's more that even I have not considered with my wide breadth of knowledge. So please let me know down below what you think of all of these cards. I'd love to hear your opinions on them. What cards did I overrate? Which ones did I underrate? What combos are available now? What decks are you looking to build with them? All that stuff, I want to hear about it down below so I can feast upon your knowledge. But until the next time Konami drops some juicy spoilers, I'll see all of you next time. Bye-bye. Today's episode is brought to you by Dragon Shield. Get the sleeves as strong as dragon scales and save 5% on your order by using the coupon code GoldenNova at checkout while helping out the channel. It was also brought to you by my lovely patrons, including this month's illustrious Quasar Commanders, Upstairs Media and Ignavius, Nebula Navigators 3rd Dynasty, Adam Zajdel, Ancient Wizard, Andrew Newman, Battle Axe, Beastsman, Charlie Mercury, Christopher Fuss, Clockswork, Eric, Frankie, Great Big Pillock, Groog, Hairbear, Harry the Ominous Benefactor, Iron Zero, Iskander 711, Japan Man, Carp,
Marion James E. Picata, Meme King, Muse Clark, Neon Yaminair, Orozco 09096, Panther J, Rebel King Lucifer, Red Eyes Jackalow, RJ the Jank Monarch, That One Dumbass, The Critic of Innocence and the Wizard Moose, Cosmic Crusaders Animasta, Anthrak, Anything You Can Say, Blitzwolf, Chaz Ghost, Christopher Fuss, again, Cool Trainer Dark, The Tenchi 67, Dr. Entity RIP, Drachenwald, Eki Bullock, Eva Padilla, Herbal D, Inblink, J.A. Flair, Julian Marquez, Kale the Dragon, Kryptonian Blurred, Lobomaru02, Manga Pages, Lenia Asta, Mr. Machina, Natiel the Alexander, Not Al Gore, Obsidian, Papa Cosmic, Rhyme Kairos, Rogue Wolf, Seraph SG, Shizuka Nijimura, Simic Toadstool, Sonic 21 Blast, Stephen Huntsman, The Legendary Raven, The Queen of Time, Tiger X2476, Tristan O'Meara, Rider 2400, Zayden, Zaldrika, and Zentha, as well as all the lovely Starlight Explorers you see on screen now. If you'd like to help me in my journey to cover all of Yu-Gi-Oh's archetypes, get my videos early, be a part of these credits and other awesome perks, it would mean the world to me if you would check out the link to my Patreon in the description or consider joining as a YouTube member.